What is up, everybody? My name is Muiz. Welcome back to another video on the Omni Chamber channel. Hope you guys enjoy. And in this video, I'm going to be checking out a budget phone. The phone I'm going to be checking out is a Samsung Galaxy A13 5G. This phone released last year and it only cost about $250 for the 5G model. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, the Samsung Galaxy A13 5G is Samsung's budget model phone, coming in at only $250. Compared to Samsung's $1,200 flagship model, this is an entire $950 cheaper. But is it $950 worse? Let's find out. Alright, let's talk about the specs of the A13, Galaxy A13. So this has a 6.5-inch HD screen with a pixel density of 270 ppi and a 90 Hz display rate. Its aspect ratio is 20:9, and honestly, for just scrolling through just like TikTok, Instagram, or like Google, it's perfectly fine. You know, you don't really feel the lag too much. Sometimes it's a little bit slow, but most of the time it's completely fine. Now, the camera is honestly where it gets insane. The main camera is 50 megapixels. On a $250 phone, the main camera being 50 megapixels is amazing. Apple could learn a thing or two with their 12 megapixel camera for 9 years. The ultra-wide camera is 5 megapixels, so not amazing, and the depth camera is 2 megapixels. Again, not the best. And the front-facing camera is 8 megapixels. So essentially what I think happened was they took rid of some of the megapixels from the ultra-wide, the depth, and the front, and just sort of put them into the main camera, which is something I am not complaining about. I would totally have a better main camera over a better selfie camera. That is something 100% I would have. Anyway, the Galaxy A13 5G at its base has 64 gigabytes, and funny enough, this comes with a headphone jack. Even though this phone released in 2020, this phone still comes with a headphone jack, and it even has expandable memory. If we go in here right now, we can see that the A13 5G has room for an SD card inside. So, even though this phone released in December of 2021, Samsung still kept these things and provided us with a Type-C to Type-C fast charger. So, those are some actually pretty nice stuff that comes with this phone that honestly you don't even get on top-of-the-line flagships nowadays. Like, have you ever seen a flagship have a headphone jack? This is amazing. The 5G model has honestly a very complicated sensor, and I don't understand how good that is. It's the MediaTek MT6833 Dimensity 700 processor with 5G support, and it has a Mali G57 MC2 graphics processor. So those are a lot of words and a lot of numbers that honestly I don't understand. But after using the phone, it's a little bit slow. It's not the fastest phone I've ever seen. If I go into an app or something right now, it takes a little bit to load, especially depending on the app. Like YouTube's going to take longer than other apps. But it does get there eventually. And that was one thing I found myself complaining about on the go while using this phone. This phone has a side fingerprint sensor, which also doubles as the power button. So all you have to do is pretty much cover the fingerprint sensor, which is also the power button when you hold the phone, and your phone's gonna lock and unlock. The fingerprint sensor is also gonna allow you to like scroll through stuff. Full disclosure, it does not let you scroll through stuff. It only lets you scroll down the notification bar and quick setting, nothing else. Stuff like if I scroll here right now, I can scroll down to my notifications bar and quick settings right here, and I can scroll back up to get rid of them. Now I want to talk about my experience while using this phone. I've already talked about it a little bit, but I really want to get in depth about it and how I felt while daily driving this thing. Alright, so the Galaxy A13 5G with its plastic back is not that bad of a phone. It has a reliable fingerprint sensor, which I never found myself complaining about. Sure, the connectivity is a bit slow, the internet on this is a bit slower than other phones, but it has a pretty good battery life. It lasts you through the entire day. It has a nice camera, 50 megapixels, that's a steal for $250, and it's pretty sleek and modern. It has all the essentials you would need, and it looks good while giving you those essentials. It has a headphone jack. You do not see phones with a headphone jack anymore, and the fact that this phone gives you that option to use headphones on that aren't Bluetooth is just amazing. On top of that, it has expandable storage in it, which again is just a feature that any human being can use regardless of what you're doing. Like, anyone can plop in a 128 gigabyte SD card into the 64 gigabyte model, and boom, now you have 192 gigabytes of storage on the phone. And that's just something that is so useful, and the fact that companies are starting to get rid of this stuff is just so annoying. But this $250 phone still has this stuff. Now, personally, I feel like most people would get this phone if they're buying their children a phone for the first time and are sort of scared about the responsibility and the price point. So if they do end up losing the phone or breaking the phone, repair is cheaper, and replacing the phone altogether is also cheaper than replacing the $1,200 phone. Or someone like extremely old that isn't gonna be needing to use the phone too heavily, and like, you know, just using it for casual use, maybe going through their email every now and then, maybe scrolling through Google, I don't know what old people do. But yeah, like, if any person that doesn't need the raw power that most of these flagships nowadays provide, this phone's perfectly fine for them. It has everything like a normal phone would need, and it comes with a headphone jack, which is just an added benefit. Now, if you're gonna be like gaming on the phone, like heavily gaming on this phone, or like heavily recording, heavily editing, then this phone is probably not for you, and you might want to stray towards a phone that's a bit powerful. But for normal everyday use, for honestly any person that does not need like a GTX 3090 in their phone, this is perfectly fine for them. And I had absolutely no issue using the 5,000 milliamp hour battery the entire day, and then charging it with a 15-watt charger at night. It was perfectly fine. The charging was perfectly fine. And yeah, it doesn't have wireless charging, but again, it's $250. You get what you get, and you don't get upset. But yeah, that's the A13 5G. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in another episode. Peace.